Hi, it's me, Dora V here, and today it's more interview with the vampire. Look at this vampire. An actual vampire. With some very interesting lore. So, anyway, it's Eric Bogosian is excellent. I mean, to say like the acting is excellent, it's like, we've heard that already. About 1,000 times. We already know that. It's like, what more can you say? Like, everything looks good, is good, just wowie. So really, like, Claudia keeps trophies and records, and it's something that the book/movie Claudia does not do. And so I thought that was pretty interesting. Why she does that, I guess curiosity more than anything, but you'll find that it's a lot more than that. And Louis describes it as chronicling a suicide, and I'm like, chronicling a suicide? Like, whose, I wonder? Because at this point, like, they do take a lot of liberties with the source material, and that's okay because they're doing a great job anyway. So like, I'm fine with that. But at any rate, chronicling a suicide, but you really, and then there's talk about, get out of my mind. Get out of my mind. Yeah, when Louis was basically like, he was basically reading Daniel's mind, and I know that, and the telepathy and all that. I started thinking of Dune. Reverend Mother says, get out of my mind, and that's exactly what it made me think of. I mean, I certainly can understand how annoying that is when your mind can be read. Yeah, because that's like private stuff. So at any rate, we just try to get this. Anyway, there was talking about, like, burying in New Orleans, and my first thought was, wait, bury a body in New Orleans? There's, like, you can't. Anyone who knows anything about New Orleans would know it's below sea level, and they do mention that later on, like, it's below sea level, you ain't burying a damn thing. It's like, that's why the graves are above ground, because it's below sea level. You can't even, like, dig anything without water popping out. So yeah, I certainly understand the concern about Claudia's behavior and those poor burbies. Yeah, he thought that Claudia just wanted to feed on birds, and it's like, no, those poor burbs. Yet I feel more for the burbs than I do for humans. Oh boy. Probably not a good way to think, but you'd be amazed at how many people do think that way. You'd be surprised. Probably, like I said, still not, like, whatever. But at any rate, yeah, you can kind of see that she's losing it at that point. Because it's like you're stuck in, like, a 14-year-old's body, and that has gotta stink. I can't imagine. I think it would suck, but that's just me, though. Hey, what do I know, right? I just think, but you kind of see that she is however, she's definitely reckless, and that does prove to be a problem. And at least I made time stop. Ha! That's funny. I didn't know vampires could do that. I guess it's some kind of an effect, but he does, and I thought that was a really weird scene. I was like, what is he doing? Does he kill that guy? Like, I couldn't really tell for sure. And then, like, crosses an X on him. I don't know, but he makes time stop. Wow. And illegal spirits, well, that tells me prohibition is in effect at the time. In fact, that is why New Orleans has the nickname it does, the Big Easy. Because it was full of speakeasies where people had to be very careful about being in bars, and prohibition was stupid and a mistake, and yes, it was well-meaning initially, but then it got ridiculous and it was repealed, thank God. It should have never existed to begin with, but I'll get into why that happened like about 100 years from now. So yeah, she's definitely reckless. It does cause problems, but I can't help but feel for her because you find that she's just trying to make other vampires. Like, that's what she's trying to do all along. Because she was showing Lestat like this wound on her arm, and it was done in order to create another one of herself. She wanted Lestat's abilities, basically. And she just wanted... I think she wanted what Louis and Lestat had, except that's not exactly the healthiest of relationships, and we'll be getting to that soon. All vampires are born out of trauma. Like, yeah, gee, can't imagine why that would be. It's like seeing as they have to die first. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I could imagine it being a bit on the traumatic side. I mean, I could certainly see that. I mean, who can't? So anyway, she does finally meet a vampire, and I thought, yay, well, that's pretty cool. Like, that's pretty cool when she leaves to go to college, because she wants to learn. And I mean, Lestat's not telling her anything, so she's gonna learn on her own, and she does, and she meets another vampire. Yeah, and then I started thinking of, oh, wait a second, in the book, Claudia does make a friend, but it's a female friend, and her name is Madeline. So at first I thought, oh, so Bruce is gonna be the new Madeline. Nah, turns out he's quite vicious charming, like the vast majority of vampires are, but because charm is actually a vampire ability. But nah, he's pretty vicious. But if they do meet up again, like, I suspect he might be the new Madeline, or not, whatever. But it's just a question of how much of the book do they intend to follow. If they do, then Claudia will not go out alone. I can tell you that. At least, whatever, but who knows at this point. I wonder what Armand will be like. I have to see. It's not the guy that Louis was feeding off. No, it's not. I don't think so. But, well, let's see. So Louis, oh gosh, and like, during that scene, like there's a lot of fighting between Lestat and Louis, and all I could think was just beautiful disaster. That should just be the ship name. Those of you who ship Lestat and Louis, like, just call it beautiful disaster. Or hot mess. Just because they're arguing over Claudia, and Lestat kind of resents having to make her, because he wants Louis to himself. Come on, you know, these, like, his love is like possessive poison. Call it that too while we're at it. Possessive poison. Yeah, truth is truth. Like, for real. So, I already did that. Like, truth is truth. It is truth. So, yeah, at any rate, it's just, oh man, and Louis does, like, tear out pages of Claudia's diary, which Daniel didn't appreciate. I understand that, but at the same time, it is Louis' story, and he can kind of tell it however he wants to tell it. Like, he doesn't really have to say anything. Really, it should have been up to Claudia, because those were her diaries. Like, where's her interview? Like, where's her? Why isn't she being interviewed? Well, I mean, it's not like they have to be... I know, she's in Egypt, so she's, like, really busy and stuff, right? Yeah, we gotta tell ourselves that. Yeah, and that she certainly doesn't end in a sunlit death. Nah, surely not. Nah, she's fine. But he does something to Daniel, and Daniel, like, he kind of makes him tremble. Because Louis does not want, he just doesn't want certain things exposed, you know, and he doesn't, as you can see, this is a hot mess. I get he's trying to be very discreet with, like, Claudia and the situation that she ended up in. Like, I get that, and he just wants that left alone. But man, when Daniel smacked Louis, just, oh my god, I just gasped. I, like, audibly gasped. Like, I was like, just damn son, like that was bold as shit to do that. And just, wow. Just wowee. Just that's brave. And he's like, Lestat smoking. I was like, Mommy liked, to be honest. I know smoking's bad for you, but he's a vampire, and I thought that was really cool. So, whatever, it just looked cool, but this is Lestat we're talking about. He could be taking a dump and it would look cool. So, so Louis meets his sister and she considers him dead. I guess that's very understandable that she would view him in that way, because she's kind of had her suspicions, and it's probably for the best, though. I know that Louis is sad about that, but, well. It's like, too bad. That is unfortunate. Sorry that happened to you. But it did, so he most likely never sees her again. And that is sad. I mean, it did hit him hard. Yeah, but that's being a vampire for you. Yeah, that's why it's a curse, like, it's been said for years, and pretty much all the lore, it's a curse. Maybe Stephanie Meyer's the only one where it's not, but I think even then it can be a curse. So, at any rate, so Claudia does return, and she realizes why Louis had wanted her to become a vampire, and that was to be his sister. So she comes back and she returns, and she's the prodigal daughter, and she apologizes, and she did it right too. Admission and apology, I think she meant that. I don't think it was a lie. I think she was sincerely sorry that she did leave the way she did. But Lestat has to ruin everything like ever. It's like, boo ass. Like, he has to ruin everything, and he's pissed off, and he does call her like the prodigal daughter, but he just doesn't accept her apology, because I think it's very obvious that he is jealous that Louis is paying more attention to Claudia. He can't stand that, and she offers to take Louis with her to her travels because she wants to meet more vampires. And yes, they are indeed a bit vicious, like that Lestat actually got that right, because I think the vampire who created him was definitely not the nicest of people. So it leads to like this knockdown, drag out fight, and I really thought that Claudia would end up killing him at this point, but that doesn't happen. Which is fine, it doesn't yet, but it wouldn't surprise me if she did eventually, just if she does. However it's done, I don't know at this point, but I know that they are fighting, and Claudia freaks out. She's horrified. Like, she tries to fight Lestat. They're all fighting. It's utter chaos. It's a hot mess, and what a sight to behold. But Lestat's just not letting Louis go. He's just not gonna do that. He's not gonna let him go. And they end up sailing high into the sky, and it's just such, like, Lestat's talking about he just wants someone to love him. And it's like, well, gee, Lestat, maybe if you were less of an asshole, someone might love you. But yeah, good luck with that. But he just wants Louis to love him, and he just can't stand the idea of anyone else having Louis, even though, like, Claudia's a sister. Like, it's unacceptable to Lestat. Whatever. But he's basically demanding Louis just tell him either way. You love me, you don't love me, just say it, and it's just Lestat wants Louis to love him, like, quote-unquote, I love you. And honestly, I expected Louis to say something like, your love is poison. Like, I honestly expected that, because that's exactly what Lestat is. Like, he is just this really mesmerizing, sweet poison. That's what he is. Poison. It's just like that song, Poison. Your poison running through my veins. Like, that is exactly what Lestat is like. there is no getting around it. You know, immediately, like I said, later on he does get better, good for him. But right now, like, he's poison, and Louis falls down and goes boom. He does survive it because vampires are, in most lore, vampires are very hard to kill. You know, they are very hard to kill. In most lore, it takes fire, it takes dismemberment, it takes a stake through the heart. And holy symbols don't actually work, but it takes a lot to kill them. Kill them, they are difficult because they are undead. They're undead, so too bad. But what is a sight to behold, though. God, it was just intense. Just intense, and I'm such a sucker for intensity. Just ask me, though. And Lestat's never gonna go away. He's never gonna go away. You know, Claudia, it's like she wants to take Louis far away, but Lestat's like, nah, no. Frustrating, I imagine. I think everybody just, here's the thing, like, it's like over an hour and you don't even notice it. And that's the thing, it's like, I remember just leaning really close to my iPad. It's like, I need to get it on caption, to be honest, but I'm sitting here like, I want to hear everything. I want to hear it perfectly. It's just, what a scene, though. Just the whole thing is just so beautifully made. God, I just love it. Beautiful disaster. It's just, at least that's not gonna go away easily, Claudia. And that'll do for me. See you later. Goodbye.